My name is Jay, and today we're going to talk about the 25 benefits of not drinking alcohol for 90 days. This video is a continuation to the video that I made called 20 Things That Happen to Your Body When You Quit Alcohol for 30 Days. If you haven't yet, please check out that video first. I'll put the link up above. I set up timestamps for each of the 25 topics in this video so you can skip ahead and find exactly what you're looking for. But if you have seen that video, then stick around and watch this one instead. Each explanation is about a paragraph long. On the timeline below, you can see how the video is chopped up chapter by chapter. Click on the description below to see a more detailed list of each chapter, but I recommend just watching this video straight through. Don't forget to save this video to your favorites or to your watch later folder because there's a lot of information, and if you have a short attention span like me, you may need to watch it 10 times. You can also go straight to the conclusion at the end of the video, but you're going to miss out on a lot of information. Disclaimer, I am not a doctor, this is not medical advice, and results may vary. And before you forget, make sure that you're subscribed. I have a ton of relatable videos for you to binge watch. And as always, make sure to leave a comment below for either me or one of the other members of this community down below and make yourself a new friend while you're at it. Feel free to share any helpful information or links in the comments section too. I might even share your links with my Patreon subscribers. And last, please consider using some of that small fortune that you've saved on alcohol to support my Patreon page at patreon.com/getting sober again for as little as the price of one drink. Everyone who supports my Patreon page will get an exclusive Getting Sober Again mug to remind you of your journey back into sobriety. You'll also get direct email support from me and exclusive video content that you cannot find on YouTube. You'll also get the opportunity to suggest future episodes. All right, let's get started. Number 1, the pink cloud / honeymoon phase. After the first 60 days of sobriety, I remember thinking to myself, is that it? I started to feel a little depressed. I was still focused on my goal, but I felt like I was losing momentum. The benefits of sobriety came on kind of slowly, which compared to the quickness of the effects of drinking alcohol, everything else can feel slow in comparison. I think a misconception of getting sober is that the results are going to be night and day. Let's say that it takes 10% of the time to heal from the effects of alcoholism. If you had spent a decade drinking, 10% is one whole year. But luckily for us, the body is designed to heal, and you can start to see real positive benefits in as little as 3 months. Mentally prepare yourself. Slow change can be a little disheartening, especially if we're feeling desperate for change. Just remember, every day that you make better decisions instead of worse decisions is an investment towards the future that you've already spent so much time borrowing from. Think of it as the credit system of your health and your future. Number 2, mental clarity. Am I still suffering from mental fog and brain fog? Rarely. But my ability to juggle ideas and recall information is far greater now than it was in month 1 or 2. And I also feel like I have greater brain power late at night. So that means no more self-sabotage and no more getting in my own way. Number 3, Carpe Diem. Not tomorrow, but today. Do you remember all of those times that you said, I'll do it tomorrow? Well, you're not going to get everything done today anyway, but you'll be more inclined to getting those tasks off your to-do list little by little. And soon, you'll be heading towards positive momentum and away from all of those years of neglect. Number 4, mental health. I've spent about 3 total years in therapy on and off, and with 4 different therapists. I feel like the unspoken agreement with therapy is admitting that we aren't exactly sure how to be an adult. And that's okay. At best, all we really have is a blueprint that we're mostly okay with. A blueprint adopted from our immediate environment, our friends, our family, pop culture, and YouTube. 90 days of sobriety helped me to balance out my negative thoughts with more positive ones, which made my day-to-day a whole lot easier. And that, I could say, if anything else, was a huge net positive of desired outcomes. Number 5, alcohol cravings. Cravings mostly went away after the first 7 to 10 days. Results may vary. It took about 3 weeks to feel like I had most of my cravings in control. Let me repeat that. It took about 3 weeks to feel like I had my cravings in control. And if you follow the 21-90 rule, they say it takes 21 days to create a new habit and 90 days for them to become permanent. All the more reason for staying sober for 90 days, am I right? They also say that only 5% of people who attempt to get sober for 90 days actually make it. I made it. I want you to make it too. But the thoughts, even though they became minor, weren't completely gone until about 6 weeks. But again, results may vary. Sometimes I'll catch myself having the thought pop into my head that I want to drink. If you did something every day like drink alcohol for 10 years, it becomes a muscle memory. Don't be alarmed. Just remind yourself, oh yeah, we don't do that anymore. Remember, thoughts and cravings are not the same thing. Just because the thought of alcohol pops in your head doesn't mean that you're having a craving. And neither of those two things mean you have to act on it. All right, number 6, belly fat. I've been working out for my entire adult life, on average about 3 days a week. I thought for sure my last little bit of stubborn belly fat would finally disappear, but that wasn't exactly the case. I did lose weight, but my expectations were a little unreasonable. Professional fitness athletes in preparation for, say, body competitions are very restrictive with their calorie intake and diets. We're talking about measured portions, steamed broccoli, lean proteins, no fat, no sugar, no carbs, no fun. However, cutting out the daily liquid calories and alcohol, the fatty, salty, greasy, late night snacks, and other poor diet decisions did lead to me losing that last little bit of stubborn body fat that I was having trouble with. There are a lot of factors involved in losing weight other than alcohol. A misconception might be that just because you stop drinking alcohol alone, you might lose a ton of weight, which you might, depending on how many calories you intake per drinking session, and also depending on your poor diet decisions after drinking. Am I right? Did you know that the average beer or glass of wine is anywhere from 125 to 200 calories? A 6-pack a night habit is roughly 900 additional calories, which is the equivalent of eating a cheeseburger and a milkshake before bed every day. 1 pound of body fat is equal to 3,500 calories. Cutting out alcohol alone will help you lose about 5 pounds per month. And by that math, a year of sobriety will help you shed nearly 60 pounds. And with proper exercise, you can trade some of those unflattering fat pounds for aesthetically pleasing muscle mass. You will look better, you will feel better, and you will lose weight. But just like diet or exercise alone, neither of those things individually will get you the perfect body results that you're looking for. If we expect too much out of sobriety, we may find ourselves being let down by lofty expectations instead of appreciating our subtle progress. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Random fact. It takes 10 minutes of running to burn off the calories in a single beer. I hate running. Number 7, energy levels. Overall, my energy has been fairly high. Not to be confused with energy drink high or amphetamine high, just normal high. Month 1, my energy levels weren't the best, I'm not gonna lie. I was really excited and motivated, but my sleep cycle was radically different from month 1, 2, and 3. During month 1, I was waking up very early, sometimes at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., really no later than 7 a.m. Then I would usually need to take a midday nap after going to the gym. But even with that nap, I would only make it until about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night before I actually went to bed for the night. And that's okay. Be advised, we have circadian rhythm. Our bodies naturally want to be awake when it's light and be asleep when it's dark. Nobody really likes waking up at 4 a.m. But if you're naturally falling asleep at 10 o'clock and naturally waking up at 4 a.m., it might be the new normal, at least temporarily. Try embracing it and your newfound optimistic outlook. Month number 2, I rarely took any naps and I was tinkering around with my diet, eating only whole foods, lots of veggies, and fiber. And whole grains, no processed foods. In month 2, I was waking up steadily at about 8 o'clock in the morning. I found myself skipping the nap and going to bed at still around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. For some reason, I felt like I was losing hours because I wasn't waking up earlier or going to sleep later. However, I had to keep in mind that where I live, it was winter. It was very dark and dreary and cloudy, so that also has something to do with it. Sometimes what I perceived as feeling sad or depressed Could have easily been seasonal depression. It's a thing. Month number 3 though, I started off the month by fasting for 3 days. I was just coming out of my honeymoon phase of sobriety, and I was entering into a brief sober sadness. I wanted to try something new, so I switched over to a keto diet, and again, I had pretty good results. Both diets essentially cut out extra carbs and sugar, which I'm a firm believer that if anybody did that, they'd feel great. But note, the keto diet is very hard on your pancreas, just like alcohol is and just like tobacco is. During that 3rd month, I also felt no need for napping, and my waking time was again around 8 a.m. I was sometimes able to make it to midnight, so then I felt like I was gaining more hours in the day again. Number 8, productivity. I will point out that it's a good idea to find a good work/self-care balance. When we're hooked on booze or other addictions, we like to repeat the motto, work hard, play hard, which then tends to become all play and no work. If you're like me and tend to binge, you can easily binge on healthy decisions too and find yourself burning out on that. Pushing yourself too hard and taking too much on your plate may add new stress. It may create new anxiety and new depression. Take it slow. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's not difficult to feel hopelessness, especially when your good intentions aren't immediately rewarded. Keeping track of your progress is a great idea. Use your smartphone's calendar and log all your daily progress, and for planning, what's next. We have to get used to the new routine of inventing our future instead of using alcohol to time travel back to sleep. Sometimes if I don't feel a lot of momentum, I'll put basic things on my to-do list like make the bed or drink water or make coffee. One of those new positive tools that I adopted was to look at any negative situation and ask myself the question, what's the most positive way that I can look at this situation? Instead of getting stressed out and irritable, I can be more proactive and move forward. Number 9, missing old habits, aka FOMO, the fear of missing out. My desire to do the things that I used to, I'm happy to say, kind of became a huge turnoff. The bar that I used to frequent all the time to play pool, I had absolutely no interest in visiting. I still wanted to play, but I didn't want to keep seeing the same people, doing the same things, and potentially trigger myself in the same ways. It's a little more lonely now, but I'm looking at the situation more as quality over quantity. The only person who's really going to invest in me is me. Essentially, I'm rebuilding my personal resume so that one day I'll be able to look around and observe that I've surrounded myself with a better quality of people that I wasn't previously prepared to. Number 10, self-care. Remember, it's easy to burn out. You're practicing a lot of new habits and routines. It can be exhausting. If you feel like you need a nap, take a nap. If you need 2 naps, take 2 naps. If you're really not feeling it that day, then relax, Netflix and chill. Do whatever you need to do to get to the end of the day sober, even if it means going to bed early. Out of my 90 days of sobriety, I probably went to bed early at least a dozen times. Like 9 o'clock early, not even making it to double digits. Repeat after me. Self-care is important. Rise and grind is cool, but a balanced mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health is cooler, in my humble opinion. Number 11, health benefits. During the first month, I talked about my blood pressure returning to normal. A week prior to me starting my day 1 of sobriety, I got my blood pressure taken, and it was the highest that had ever been in my life, 160/93. But then, after just 30 days of sobriety, my blood pressure returns to excellent condition, 120/70. I had been experiencing abdominal pains prior to getting sober. During month 2, I was able to get a CT scan of my abdomen where it was revealed that I had 2 lesions on my liver. At the end of month 3, I got an MRI and it was revealed that the 2 lesions had gone down to 1 and decreasing in size by over 66%. In addition to that, I noticed that when exercising, my cardio conditioning and recovery is much better during high intensity workouts. And because I wasn't causing myself to be dehydrated every day, I wasn't getting as sore after hard workouts. Still needed a post-gym nap though. Also, sometimes I accidentally bite my cheek or lip when I'm chewing food. So previously it would sometimes take like 2 weeks for one of those bites to heal. But while sober, my healing time is now very fast. I usually heal within 2 to 3 days. Phantom aches and pains have also mostly resolved themselves, and I also have more glowing skin. I used to wake up with big puffy eyes, feeling dizzy, having head pressure, headaches, and congestion. But now when I wake up, I look and feel way more refreshed in the mornings. It's easier to seize the day when you don't feel like you already have one foot in the grave. Number 12, money savings. I saved approximately one boatload of money. I calculated that on average, I was spending about $20 a day on drinking and other poor alcohol-related decisions. Pizza. In a 3-month period, 90 days times $20 a day is almost $2,000 saved. And no, I didn't exactly save that money, but I did reinvest that money in buying more camera equipment so I could have a better quality channel for making these videos. So make sure that you are subscribed and leave a comment. Number 13, feelings. First, let's start with positive feelings. I can easily say that I feel more human again. Alcohol becomes an easy button that we would just press anytime a situation gave us stress or anxiety. But now after 90 days of sobriety, I find myself experiencing random joy again. Joy in the little things like my friends, family, and hobbies. It's nice to be happy just because I'm actually happy, not because I'm buzzed. I find myself taking a little bit more time now to enjoy the moment and to be present instead of just being there and wondering what's next and is there gonna be a bar? And I'm far less irritable. Little things that used to bug me all the time, like terrible drivers, don't make me want to have a meltdown anymore. I'm not saying that I'm never irritated, but I tend not to let little things that are out of my control ruin my day, like they used to when I was drinking. Now let's talk about the negative feelings. Speaking of depression, I still experience it. I think that anybody who tells you that they don't experience depression is probably lying to you. Gray skies can make you depressed. Being low on money can make you depressed. Being in the middle of a worldwide pandemic can make you depressed. Life is full of change and everything is temporary. That's also true for all feelings, positive or negative. And while we adjust to all of our new changes, we have to remember that there is a fine line between excitement and anxiety. And we will certainly be walking that tightrope until we master and become more familiar with our new routines and life experience. Knowing that I'm not consuming anything to make myself depressed allows me to realize that whatever I'm experiencing is either A, in my head, or B, just temporary, and to let it go. This too shall pass. Number 14. Anxiety. My anxiety went down dramatically. We're gonna start experiencing more feelings than we had previously, the good ones and the bad ones. They say that when we're experiencing anxiety, we're thinking about something in the future that's out of our control. And when we get depressed, it's when we're thinking about something from the past, also out of our control. Either scenario is something that you can't change, but the thing that you can change is how you react to it in the moment that you're currently in. What you do and what you say now will forever be in your history, no matter if you did it drunk or sober. So choose wisely. Think of it this way. Every time you make a better decision in the moment that you're currently in is like saving for the future. If you looked at your life history like you did your credit history, wouldn't you like to have way less hard inquiries and a higher, better decision to a worse decision ratio? Yeah, me too. But if you make better decisions, there's less reason to worry about the future because you've done everything to the best of your abilities. And that should give you far less anxiety. There'll be times in the future that you're currently benefiting from a good decision in the past. I like to refer to that as me in the past. I'll even say out loud that past me was looking out for future me, which is now presently me. It becomes a recipe for loving yourself. And at the end of the day, the only person that you can really depend on is you. But remember, alcohol wants you to depend on it. Number 15, free time. Having extra free time when you're sober can be terrifying. Waking up early without excuses to start my day, I found myself having way more free time to do the things that I was constantly falling behind on, which caused me anxiety. However, the catch-22 became that because I had more free time, I was getting anxiety because I had more time to think about what I needed to accomplish. So the formula for avoiding any kind of anxiety was to, repeat after me, just do it. Just start. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like it's a very common occurrence to get anxiety about having to do something rather than wanting to do something. Projects, research, tasks, chores, whatever the case may be, it can all result in anxiety. Anytime we experience something that we are unsure of or lacking in experience of, we can easily feel anxious and want to self-medicate. But to get around anxiety, I always found it best to just start whatever the task or activity was, and I would almost always feel much better. Feeling like you've earned the right to sleep versus feeling like you're just going to sleep to escape your obligations is a recipe for a great night of rest. Number 16, schedules keep me focused. Creating schedules was very important. Across the board, they say that if you write something down in a calendar on a day at a specific time, you are far more likely to achieve your goals. Personally, it was very important for me, who is a self-employed person, to set my intentions either the night before and or the morning of what I wanted to accomplish. If I didn't write down a schedule, I'd get lost and I'd be prone to distraction, which would then lead to what? Anxiety, you got it. Number 17, a greater sense of contentment. And I know this sounds silly, but getting work done instead of getting drunk makes a great internal environment for self-worth and accomplishment. Celebrating life without achievement feels empty. And when we feel empty, we feel depressed. When we feel depressed, we get anxiety about the future because we see that our past self wasn't looking out for our present self. And then our present self doesn't believe in our future self because we are fully aware of the fact that we are self-sabotaging. And the cycle never ends. Number 18, more discipline. I was not a very disciplined person. I was a very productive person, but they aren't the same, are they? My mantra after getting sober became, just do a little more. And don't get me wrong, in the beginning of my sober journey, there was an equal amount of thoughts like, what's the point? In the past, I gave myself a lot of reasons not to believe in myself. Self-sabotage. But once I got to the 21-day mark, I felt that I was finally turning the ship away from the history of negative momentum and pointing for a more positive future. Number 19, addicted to quitting. Knowing that I have an addictive personality, I was able to turn a negative into a positive. With my newfound discipline and the aid of one of my favorite apps, Quitzilla, it's free and it's in the links below, I was able to not just quit drinking, but quit smoking, quit sugar, quit carbs, and a couple of other things that I'm not going to mention here on camera. I've since reintroduced a less restrictive diet, but having tested the waters and even doing a 3-day water fast for the first time on New Year's Eve, I believe that I can control any habit or addiction. I wonder if they have a support group to quit quitting. Number 20, instant gratification. The instant gratification isn't coming, so don't look for it. Get out of the mindset of the quick fix. Remember, good things come to those who wait. And you only lose that chance when you give up on your progress. So you might ask, what is it? It's the relationship that you've always wanted. It's the shape that you've always wanted to be in. It's the mental clarity that you couldn't find. It's the energy through the day that you never had. It's the belief in yourself that you never thought was possible. It's getting your mornings back. It's being a better friend, spouse, son, or daughter. It's a step closer to being the best version of yourself, the version that you can depend on and fall in love with. I'm willing to bet you maybe stopped loving yourself a while ago. And if you don't love yourself, who knows what kind of pain that you might be putting those people that are close to you in. Number 21, snacking. You probably can't tell, but I like to eat. I do it at least 3 times a day. Don't forget, you're coming from a place of consumption. You've probably already heard, but when you quit drinking and smoking, we'll start to have different cravings. A common craving for quitting alcohol is sugar. I didn't have much of a sweet tooth to begin with, but during the first month, I had a lot of sugar cravings. I would sometimes indulge in a soda or juice or maybe the occasional piece of chocolate, but don't get carried away. A common downfall of sobriety is weight gain due to overeating and snacking. So I made a deal with myself. If I was going to snack and overeat, I was going to snack and overeat on healthy things only. So what's my advice? Well, it's really hard to gain weight snacking on roasted veggies. Number 22, ADHD. ADHD is still kind of a thing for me. It's just how my brain in particular works. I was kind of hoping that I would have an unlimited attention span after 3 months of not drinking. Lofty expectations. My memory is deeper, but I'm still easily distracted. That's where the discipline part comes in. If you made it this far, you might be like me and wonder, what else can I accomplish? What else can I achieve? One of the takeaways from having gone to therapy is that when we talked about me having ADHD, it was pointed out to me that the evidence shows that I'm making ADHD work for me and not against me. No matter how your brain works, having a system is very important. Some people are book learners, some are visual learners, some are hands-on. Work with what you got and don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy. Number 23, dizziness. I've had issues with positional vertigo all of my adult life. Coincidentally, I had very few bouts of vertigo during my drinking career as an adult. But in month 2 of sobriety, I was waking up dizzy from roughly day 50 until day 75, so 2 weeks. I don't know if this has anything to do with drinking, but I just wanted to point out a side effect that occurred during sobriety, since most videos that you watch on this topic are all sunshine and rainbows. I wanted to keep it as real as possible. I'm also happy to report that the dizziness did go away after 2 weeks, and I haven't had dizziness ever since. Number 24, less self-sabotage. Since quitting drinking, not only are all of my friendships better, but my family and professional relationships are better than ever. I've also earned way more money than I ever have. I've also been able to say yes to more things, experience new things, and work that muscle of socializing without my alcoholic crutch. Genuinely smiling, being present, being curious about people's lives, and remembering my conversations with them. It makes me feel like I'm a much better representative for myself now than I was when I was drinking. And number 25, I look much better. If we look at this video clip of when I first started my sober journey, you can see that my hair was a little bit thinner on top and my face was bloated, my eyes were puffier, and my eyes were also glassy.
Now, let's go back and see what I look like today.
You can also tell that my hair is more fuller, my eyes are less puffy on the bottom and the top, and my face is becoming more chiseled and healthy looking. My skin tone is also more glowing and more even. Also, taking into consideration that even though I was drinking often, I was still going to the gym and taking vitamins and supplements, but it still didn't save me from the effects of alcohol. You can't have your alcoholic cake and eat it too, if you know what I mean. Alcohol is toxic. Would you stay in a relationship with a toxic person? No. So why stay in one with a toxic substance? All right, in conclusion, the positive benefits of being sober for 90 days is more than enough motivation for me to continue on not drinking. For how long? Who knows? But for now, I don't personally see any reason to end my sobriety. Remember, this is a lifestyle change. Simply subtracting alcohol may not lead to success. Changing our habits, our patterns, our places to hang out, places to eat, our route home, past our favorite happy hour spots, and even where we sit to watch the game are all things we should consider giving a change to as well. After 90 days, I now believe in my ability to say no and to make better decisions moving forward. I feel more normal than I ever have. If I could give you a visual of how I felt like I was getting through life before getting sober is, I felt like I was drunk driving through life while smoking a cigarette and texting. Now I feel more focused, more relaxed, confident, less anxious, motivated, healthy, strong, and my skin looks great. I dream a lot more, literally and figuratively, or as I like to say, lit and fig. No more waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, no more hangovers, no more existential dread on Monday mornings. I have more money for the things that I love. I have more time for growing my business, my brand, my mind, my body, and my spirit. I sleep soundly through the night, and I wake up genuinely feeling like I got rest. There is a difference, trust me. Alcohol cravings are gone, and so are the temptations to drink. My brain fog is gone. My mental focus and sharpness have greatly improved. Because of my new mental clarity, I can better organize my thoughts, and as a result, I'm making better art, better videos, and I'm more motivated to continue improving all aspects of my life, personally and professionally. Self-sabotage is at an all-time low. My personal relationships are much healthier. I've also been able to help and inspire people around me and other people around the world through this channel. Speaking of which, my mom quit drinking too. I saved a lot of money in 90 days, nearly $2,000. I gained more clients because I was able to say yes to more projects, and since I saved more money and made more money, I paid off more bills, so coincidentally, my credit score went up. I became more disciplined and learned how to better prioritize my time. I had way more free time, and as a result, I was able to accomplish a lot more, which made me feel a greater sense of contentment and led to better nights of rest. A range of emotions and delicate feelings came back. All the years of alcohol abuse left me feeling pretty numb, so I learned how to smile more often, be more present, and genuinely became happier. I experienced much greater gratitude for life and found more joy in the little things. My to-do list shrank significantly, and I even tackled some of the projects and tasks that I avoided for years. I learned a lot. My quality of life is much better now, and I can actually feel and see the progress that I've made. And I'm proud of myself. I feel like a whole world of new opportunities have presented themselves, which now includes people like you. So with that, I want to wish you good luck on your journey. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment for me or somebody in the comment section below. And in closing, I encourage you to help make this world a better place than we found it. So don't forget to help support this channel by subscribing and consider making a small donation to my Patreon page at patreon.com/getting sober again. And this concludes the 25 benefits of quitting alcohol for 90 days. And I will see you in the next video.